guys, and welcome to the second tutorial of our GTK ProgressBar widget. Until now we learned how we create or what we need to create a progress bar, and you saw the way how we make it move. The first part or the first meaning of the progress bar we were already explaining it. There was the part where the progress bar, it is used as an activity, and which means that something happens but you don't know exactly what. And as you can see, we were calling the GTK ProgressBar set show text to show a text, and at this point we see the 0% text, which is not actually the proper one which you need it in this case, because when you are talking about activity, you're basically talking about something which happens but you have no idea what happened. So showing some numbers here, it is not what you need. You need a text, something to inform the user, you know, at this point this one happens. So for this I'm going to create this text with the help of the G object, G object set data fol. You better check the G object playlist before you come here, because this is very important that you understand this function is what is done and what exactly it does. I'm not going to explain right now, you should already know what it does. So the first one will be our progress bar. The second thing which we need, it is a key, an identifier for us. So in this case I'm going to say status data. The next thing which we need of course something to be print. So I'm going to call the G string dup to duplicate this searching. So I'm going to create basically this string, and of course I'm going to call the G3. Once that we create this information, basically we are connecting this information with the progress bar identified by the K status data. Once that object gets destroyed, the G3 will be called and everything will be clean for us. So now the last thing, or the better said, the next thing which we need, we only need to call the G object get data. So for this we need to save its information, const gchar const let's say state, it is equal with, or it will be assigned, I only say it is equal, G object get data. And of course what do we need? We need to pass these two things, which we set them with the set data for, which is the progress bar and the status bar. Of course we need the progress bar, not the progress bar 0. And now, because we have this information, let us compile and run and see what happens at this point. Yes, I forgot to call GTK bar set text, which is very important. Let me move this call right here, because the next function which we need, because we need to print this information which we just created. So for this we need a function which is called GTK ProgressBar set text. Right here it says cause the given text to appear next to the progress bar. If the text is null, then and the show text is true, which is somehow like our case, the show text, it is indeed true, but we have a text as well, then the corrective action will be displayed as a pattern. So let us see how exactly behave this one. I'm going to call this function with null, and of course it says if the text and the show text is set to true, which is true. So basically we need our progress bar. I'm going to comment this call for a second, this G object get data, because we are passing null. We are doing exactly what the documentation asks, and as you can see we get nothing. Basically we should got the fraction, but it says the current value of the fraction, so we are not working with the fraction. this is another story. You see, bar set fraction, we'll work with the bar pull. So just to be sure that you understand that passing null in this function does nothing for you, because we are not calling the fraction. We are going to see later about this function. Now, so for this moment, we are going to stick with GObjectGetData. At this point, we are retrieving the status data information from our progress bar and save it into a pointer, or better say, we are pointing there with our pointer, and once that we have it, we pass that pointer as second argument for GTK ProgressBar set text. And now watch what happens. It will basically replace the percent message which you saw it before. You see, now we have a meaning, now we have something's happened, something it will be searched. At this point, because something it will be searched, we know that we have to wait until something happens, and our application will give us the result at some point. So basically this is the activity mode which you set it from your progress bar, and this is the thing which you need to do to create an information when you create an activity mode for your users through your application. The settings goes, of course, if you, for example, create a loading bar like I did in the second, in the first video where I was showing you an example. So I'm going to create a second widget, a progress bar, and here it will be progress bar 1. I'm going to attach the progress bar 1 to 0 left 1 top. Basically, I'm going to call this function again, this time on our progress bar 1. And of course, we are going to connect the gsetDataFall on the progress bar 1, and the thing which we are going to see here will be loading. At this point, because basically we did the same thing, you will see both of them, two progress bars. You see both of them, and both of them, they are using the same and only one function. You don't need two functions for that, because we are connecting them, both of those information, we are connecting them to the progress bars which we are passing. And then the next thing which I'm going to show you, it is very important for you. There is another function which it is called GTK ProgressBar inverted or set inverted right here, which says progress bar normally grows from top to bottom or from left to right, like in our case. Inverted progress bars grow in the opposite direction. So now if we basically call this function, like I'm going to do right now right here, and we pass the progress bar which we need, so GTK ProgressBar, and we pass the progress bar 0, and we say true, because at this point it is set to false. You will see that the searching progress bar, it goes from right to left, and this is the opposite of the loading one, you see. So basically you create now a very different information. What do we know at this point? If we check our application again, we basically create a window with a grid inside it. We put two progress bars inside the grid. We are by attaching them with the GTK grid attach, and then we call the timeout add function to call every second the handle progress function for us, passing the progress bar 0 and 1 to them. We are creating some information by connecting the two strings with the progress bars, the searching bar with the progress bar 0 and the loading with progress bar 1. And then we are setting also an inverted from the progress bar 0, so that its behavior goes different from the loading one. And of course, the handle progress function, what does here, it's basically pulsing our progress bar, and the setting is supposed to 1.0, which is the speed. And then we decide to print text. Once that we have the text, next thing which we decide that we get the information which we created in the main function with the help of GObjectGetData. We're retrieving with the help of the K from the progress bar the information which is inside. We don't know which is inside because we don't actually care. We only care if the progress bar which is called to give us that information. And then with the help of GTK ProgressBar set text, we are basically predicting the text, like in our case searching or loading. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.